Hey guys, I'm Jason W. Taylor, president and founder of CodeLaunch. The WeCodeUlaunch podcast is for tech startups and the community of founders, technologists, and investors that support CodeLaunch, the world's only free accelerator where elite professional coders compete to launch tech startups for free. And we showcase them at a live venturetainment show, which is like nothing like you've ever seen in the startup universe, I promise. If you're hearing this episode on Spotify or iTunes or Amazon, guess what? You can now watch the WeCodeUlaunch podcast on our YouTube channel. So we hope that you will like and subscribe if you enjoy today's podcast and give us a good review. That helps the algorithms. This is episode 88 of WeCodeUlaunch. Shout out to my favorite 88, CD Lamb. Today, our guest is Esther Cho from Los Angeles, California. She is founder and CEO of Avitas Partners, also known as SuperLuckeee Trading. She has invested in several tech startups. She will be an associate producer for season 2 of America's Real Deal streaming show. And we met at the Startup Grind conference in Silicon Valley last April. And when we did, I asked her to come to Dallas to be a judge at the CodeLaunch World Championship. And so she's here now. Thank you for coming, Esther. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting me here, Jason. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, we're really excited too. The event is tomorrow. We're shooting this podcast the day before the World Championship. So we're going to find out what happens. You're going to get to experience CodeLaunch. A lot of new people. We'll have a new world champion, and that will be the end of the 2025 year. And we're already taking applications for our 2026 tour. So if you're a startup founder, look at CodeLaunch.com, check out our schedule, and apply to the event. Whether you're a U.S. founder, a Canadian founder, or a LATAM founder, we have an event for you. Okay, so Esther Cho, you're a stock market trader, and you and your partner Michael run this live trading educational platform and community, which is accessed via Discord. Please tell us all about it and who is it for?
I started this trading community with the idea that we can help a lot of people find financial freedom. Most people, they don't know how to properly invest, which companies to pick, and the power of compounding that if you start early and understand how to pick the right stocks, you can create generational wealth for you and your family and really be able to grow your wealth with consistency and discipline, and it's for everyone. We have people ages from 15 years old all the way to 75-year-old members, and we've taught them whether it's day trading strategies, swing trading strategies, or just long-term investments, how to complement their current income or substitute it to become a full-time career.
Okay, so this is amazing. So this is not just for accredited investors. It's for anybody. And it's highly educational. Not like in the machinations of the stock market, but in the attributes of the person's discipline. Is that right? And their sensitivity to ups and downs and like do you like coach people to not be so reactionary?
I think the most important thing about understanding what you're investing in is seasonality and cyclical markets. So, seasonality, every stock has its own behavior. If you look at the way you shop or how consumers spend their money, then you can see that the height of the spending cycle is usually towards end of summer or into Christmas season. That's when everybody's shopping, buying gifts, traveling. So majority of companies, they also reflect that in their quarterly earnings. So if you can follow the earnings cycle of any company, then you know which placement you are in your position. Let's take a company like Apple, for example. Apple is one of the most basic known biggest tech stocks in the S&P 500. They're also consumer discretionary plus tech. So we know that they release their iPhone every November. And so their quarter 4 earnings is the strongest going into the end of the year. So you want to position yourself. If you're buying Apple stock maybe in May, then you can hold that position in a longer time frame. So that's a swing. You're going to be holding it all the way into the strongest quarter, which is going to be into December and January when they report. If you bought it in November, it's going to be a shorter term trade. So it's all depending on positioning and understanding when the cycle of that market is. There's also down cycles. So if you know when you pay taxes, everyone else has to pay the taxes at the same time. Coming off of the strongest quarter, so quarterly earnings is the most important thing that I look for, and patterns in the market of when we are going from risk on to risk off. Into a strong quarter, all prices get inflated and we're in expansion. But after that, we have to pay taxes. April, quarter one is usually weaker. Nobody shops as much, travel is lessened, so a lot of these companies are reporting lower earnings per share. So if you already know that the market is expected to uh, forecast lower guidance, lower revenue into certain specific months and quarters, then you already know when to take your risk off. So I would say learning patterns and market cycles is going to really help you grow your portfolio better.
Okay, great. So let's back up and find out what inspired you to get into trading and start this community.
Well, back in 2007, I was in mortgage and real estate, and then I was also in fashion. And probably that's why I got so fascinated with patterns and forecasting. In fashion, you have to forecast um, what customers want 2 years ahead of time and then match it based on that. We have to pick pricing, colorway, and then everything from manufacturing all the way to the customer, from logistics to sales. So that helped me to understand uh, timing as well as the payment cycles. When I started applying that into my first stock that I purchased was Apple again back in 2012. It was I was looking at how the iPhone 3 at that time, it was going to come out with a new product, the iPhone 4, and it was a lot bigger of a device. And I thought, oh, this might be a good investment. So I called my broker, and they told me you can get options on it. So I asked them, what is an option? And at that time, I didn't know what an option is. And they explained it to me. And they said, okay, you can, if you think that Apple is going to go up into certain prices, I can put a less amount of capital versus buying shares. So I put $2,000 into Apple about a week before they announced their new product launch. That $2,000 turned into $24,000 in 1 week. So I was thinking, oh my goodness, I have to find more catalysts that will create these companies that I love using. I was already a big Mac and Apple lover. So getting familiar or trading and investing in companies that you understand and know definitely gives you an edge.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to
I do that
share that.
sometimes too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I ignore the advisors because I'm just a big fan of this company's product. I am intimately familiar with the product, the service, and I know that they might not be. They're looking at performance charts and they don't really understand it like I do, and I'll make my own decision. And I'm pretty good at those. When I go off the rails is when I see something on the news that didn't come from the advisor, and I'm like, oh, this looks great. And sometimes I get killed on those deals
Oh,
because I'm a little bit too trigger happy, I think, both on buy and sell. So do you coach discipline at all? Because that's what I need. I need some discipline.
I think discipline is something that we are always talking about. Risk management is probably one of the main things that we emphasize, because if you lose your money that to invest in, then you have nothing to invest forward with. So discipline, risk management, having tight rules so that you don't use more than X amount of capital uh, for any investment. So on short term, we only recommend 1 to 2% of your capital for short term. investments until your skill gets better. And if you're speculating, then small risk with longer time frames is I found it's been very, very rewarding. Uh, we're so fortunate that we're in a, the AI world where we can just ask ChatGPT anything now these days, and it'll spit out the answers of okay, which companies might have the biggest and strongest growth. So I think that's a really good, powerful tool that we can use.
Well, I think I'm good at risk management. I'm very good at it. I don't allocate large percentages to some of the risky things that I do. In fact, sometimes they're micro percents. But I'll still make a small purchase and watch it just tank and kill what would be good days with the things that I was following from my advisors. And then I get irritated at myself and sell it for a loss.
Oh no.
So, yeah, I don't have all the expertise and discipline in the world yet, but I also don't get to do this full time. Like, I really do imagine a future where I will do this a lot more. Like a established part of my day is market analysis trading, participating in a group like SuperLuckeee Trading, listening to the podcast, and it's like part of my structure. And I really, really enjoy the markets, and I could just enjoy the subject matter, and I learn a little bit more every day. So yeah, I'm so glad to jump into SuperLuckeee Trading on Discord soon. As soon as our tour is over this year, and I have a little more time, I'm going to do that, and get active and see what everybody's doing. And try, one of the things I need to learn is options. Do you have like courses and classes in there? I mean, I know what they are, but I never have traded one. And there's a difference in conceptually knowing what it is and then actually doing it. And fully understanding the downside risk too is something that I probably couldn't explain to you. I just know that there's potentially a higher downside risk in some situations. So yeah, I saw in your Discord that looked like there's a lot of training in there. Is there options training?
So we specialize mostly in options strategies, hedging strategies, how to compound your wealth using leveraged trading. So I'm understanding you mostly trade shares right now.
Mostly, I do buy some inverse ETFs when I want to
Okay.
hedge. Um, but that gets on my nerves too, because then I just get this one's going one way and one's going the other way thing.
Uh-huh.
And psychologically, it'll bother me when I'm hedging and I'll see the market not not stalling out and not going down like I wanted. And it's just all it's doing is shaving off what would be a good day. That's the worst feeling, Esther. How do you help me not be me?
Um, I mean, that's what our courses are for. So we have we have over 150 courses on different types of strategies. Uh, you know, depending on your personality, uh, we have courses for different types of personalities as well. Some people like that fast, aggressive profit and then they take the profits, whereas other people, they are not fast or quick to react, or just their busy lifestyle that doesn't allow them to day trade or actively trade in the market. So, based on their lifestyle, their personality, and what fits for a person, we have classes on hedging strategies, option spreads, on futures trading, and understanding the financials of the stocks that you want to invest in. Um, I think that having that confidence and understanding and following stocks, like you said, that you like and understand, or and want to invest in and want to discover more about, is where you'll start seeing more growth and consistency.
Well, I have a lot to learn, and I'm looking forward to finding out more. So, is there a certain amount of capital that is like a minimum that you would like in your community, or is it people that are just at the beginning? You said people that are like 15 years old in there. Like, is there some kind of baseline requirement?
I always highly suggest that people practice and paper trade first strategies that they don't know. if they're going to be adapting a new strategy and investing real money into something that they haven't practiced yet, trading is the one sport or one profession where you're thrown in with professionals and you're the small fish. So I highly suggest people first practice. Uh, but as far as long-term investing, that's a different mindset. Depending on what your mindset and what your approach to in trading is, you can start with $50. You can start by compounding little by little shares on mega caps, growth companies, as a long term, and there's no limit of how much you need to start with. But if you're going to be uh, doing more short term strategies, I usually suggest start with a smaller amount, paper trade, and practice first until you can build that consistency so you don't blow up your account.
Okay, so on the SuperLuckeee Trading platform on Discord, you are one of the hands-on coaches who's interactive. How many hours a day are you active on the platform, like a trading day?
So I start with the market open maybe 30 to 40 minutes before the US market opens. But actively trading, I would say maybe about 30 minutes to an hour before that because there's the stock market never sleeps. There's the London Open, there's the US Open,
The
then
late
after that
session?
there's the Asia session, and then the cycle happens all over again. As far as the trading community goes, I'm in and out throughout the day, but in the morning, I'm live trading with my community. I'm sharing my screen. I'm on voice coaching people.
Wow.
I'm talking through why I'm getting in a trade, and I'm kind of helping people to manage their emotions because when the market is very volatile, it's scary. It's you're dealing with your livelihood.
Yeah, speaking of that, first of all, you must get up really early, right?
I mean, I'm in Pacific time, so I wake up and it's like with the crickets. It's 5 a.m.
Yeah,
and
because the market opens at 6:30 your time.
mhm.
Whew.
So I'm usually up at 5. I'm meditating in the morning. I live right in front of the beach, which is nice. I'll take a walk, and having that mindset of peace and just first gratitude helps me to start the day off good. Because if your psychology and your mindset is not steady, when the market's moving and it's so volatile, it's going to make you emotional. So you have to be even keel as much as possible. And I teach a lot of ways to see statistical moves. And once you understand, okay, here's the range of the market, here's the range of this stock, that stock, what is my max loss and reward? If you have a parameter of where your money might go, then we just have to trade around that parameter, right? Or inside that parameter.
So you brought up volatility. I've learned through these advisors and subscriptions that I have to trust the professionals most when it looks the scariest. Um, and so I'm curious, how did your community handle the tariff tantrum, which happened, you know, a few weeks before Trump announced this massive chart of tariffs, and they were all over exaggerated what they were really going to end up being. But he didn't say that. He just said, "This is it. We're going to tax everything out of China 100%, everything out of India 100%." And there was a massive market move down. And I'm curious, how did your community and how did you handle that?
So starting in February, just like I said earlier about tax season, I usually tell my community after quarter 4 finishes reporting earnings that they need to start selling and hedging their portfolios starting February. So already from February, we were selling our positions, closing out positions, and getting April and May puts and shorts. So taking some risk off, just understanding seasonality and yearly cycles already helped us not lose in that crash. But if you look at long-term patterns in the market, the COVID drop from the S&P 500 was 20%. If you look at exactly the amount that the S&P 500 dropped in 2020, it was 20%. If you look at how much it dropped this past April, it was also exactly 20%. So if you look at study patterns and how much those waves of swing highs and swing lows are, then you can also see that pattern happen possibly every 3 years, 3 or 7 year cycles.
Something's going to come along that spooks the market, and people are going to want to take the profits off. Everything drops, and then they realize there's still a future, and somebody's mitigating whatever the challenge is. It's not as bad as it's going to seem, and then it can come back. And it's done that repeatedly for
Yes,
100
exactly.
years.
Nobody could time the market perfectly, but just understand the general when to take risk off. You can position yourself in such a great area, such as your April 7th buy. Even if you don't say you're not a professional, we got that same exactly April 7th for all our stocks and for the community.
And if you use leverage options, the potential gains were
Exponential is
stratospheric.
so much
Yeah.
bigger. If let's
Join me in
say
the SuperLuckeee Trading community in December. That's where I'll be all the Christmas holiday every morning. So you went from 2007, you're a real estate and fashion professional, and you're like, I believe in Apple. I love this product. I'm going to buy this stock. And you happen to do really well in it. How did that person transform into this person who is a super elite expert in all the machinations of trading? 17 years, I understand, is a long time. But there must have been a catalyst where how did you learn all this stuff?
Well, I think screen time really helps. I was really fascinated, like I said, with Apple, with just understanding the catalyst and seeing how that affects earnings and valuations. Another thing happened with Amazon. I was designing sweaters, and the buyer in Amazon in 2013 calls me and they said, "We want to order 3,000 sweaters." 1 month later, they're like, "We want to buy 30,000 sweaters." And I'm like, "Why so many?" And they said, "We're going to be creating a new huge fashion division in New Jersey with a big new warehouse and start making warehouses all over the country." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I need to get some Amazon stock." So that's what got me to get Amazon and really kind of like follow visionaries. And so I'm like, okay, who's the other big visionary besides Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos? I'm like, Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. His concept, his idea of the future, I thought it was so cool at that time that he's creating these electric cars. And so I bought Tesla at $60. And I mean, you know where it is now.
460 the other day, but that doesn't count splits that may have happened along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think just time in the market and really studying how stocks can perform in the next 10 years, how they're going to impact the world in 10, 20, 30-year like in decades. Um, that's what's really helped me grow my portfolio and why I wanted to share that with others, that you can have some time in the market, not be so perfect, but really follow visionaries. And if those companies grow, your wealth and portfolio will also naturally grow with it if you invest in the right companies and right people.
Okay, so that was then. You were into Amazon early. You were into Apple relatively early. I mean, they were a very mature company at then, but this product, this iPhone, was very cutting edge and changed the world. Tesla's cars have changed the world. Tesla's into all sorts of other things besides cars, too. Now we're in 2025. Where is and who is the next visionary leader and the next visionary agent of change company?
There's several companies that usually I'm looking for. I'm looking for high growth potential that is really integrating and using, not just using AI, but it's a part of their infrastructure, such as PLTR. I'll give you an example with PLTR.
Palantir.
Palantir, right. About a year and a half
Have
ago.
some.
Yes.
Don't have cool options that are leveraged on them, but I have some.
It's okay. I mean, PLTR, they were only $6, let's say about 2 years ago, right? Uh, I was telling everyone to buy PLTR because not only is it AI, but it's also government They work with the
Defense
CIA,
spending and
defense.
security.
Right, exactly. So it has all the aspects that has huge long-term growth potential. Uh,
And the founder's one of the PayPal bros, right? He's part of the
exactly.
network that came out of PayPal, which is just proliferated everywhere.
Right. So once
Has
you
there ever been a
start,
failure in the C-level that came out of PayPal and went on to do nothing that I
no,
know of?
PayPal has some amazing
Yeah.
visionaries come out of them.
Okay, so Palantir, still an agent of change, a lot of room to grow.
Right. I still think they have a lot of room to grow. Um, but just like you said, like Palantir has a great CEO, great vision, right? If you look at a company called IONQ, they are in quantum, and we've
Ionic,
been
right?
right,
They're in quantum computing.
right.
And quantum is a sector that is very much emerging, but there's nobody in quantum that's even close to profitable yet.
Right.
So high risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward, but we are usually looking for who are the leaders and who's the visionary people that are going to take this in the long term to the next level. So if you do a lot of research and take the time to see, okay, we're not going to make that same multiple in NVIDIA, but who are they working with? What are the next things that NVIDIA is coming out with, in whether it's the earnings report saying their new partner is going to be this aspect or that aspect that we need. Those are the companies that I'm usually looking into because they will be the next bigger growth companies.
Okay. I think that I might have held some D-wave just for a minute, but it was a little too volatile for me. And I made a little money and got out of it because it was just swinging back and forth like crazy any given day. D-wave. It's part of the family of quantum stocks right now.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I'll look into Ionic.
I
Okay.
like that one in RGTI if you are going to be, and then anything in the solar and energy space.
What about Rocket Labs?
Rocket Lab was really interesting. I don't trade that right now, but then I had interest in it before.
So I got cold feet and sold it yesterday. And what happens today?
It
Up
skyrocketed.
8%.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it had gone from making me a really nice profit to making me down in the hole. And then it got back up. And it was one of those where it alerts me every day. Oh, it's up this much. Oh, it's down. And that's another question. What platform do you like to use for trading? And what platform would you say most of your SuperLuckeee Trading community uses for their trades?
So it depends what instrument you're trading. I usually recommend TD, not TD. They were bought out by Charles Schwab. So Charles Schwab has a very great platform called Thinkorswim.
Oh, the basic Charles Schwab that took over TD is so ugly
Right.
that it shoves me over to Robinhood, which I now love. But yeah, tell me about this other part of Charles Schwab that I don't know about.
So TD Ameritrade bought TOS, the Thinkorswim platform, which is one of the most customizable platforms that gives you so many um, scripts that you can play with and make it very customized and tailored to your type of trading.
You can build scripts?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a software developer by
Right, you're a
trade. Like,
coder.
I used to be a coder, like
Coding.
the best Microsoft coder in Texas.
Wow.
Till I met John Anderson in 2009, hired him, and stopped coding. But I thought I was pretty good. So, but I can have a trading platform that lets me automate and
Yes. I mean, if
ooh,
you look at what Citadel's been doing, they were saying that 50% or more is now all automated trading. And so I think as we go more and more into the future,
I mean more than just stop losses and stuff like that. More advanced stuff than that. Okay, this is getting exciting, Esther. I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow to happen, the World Championship, and then I can't wait for Thursday, which the CodeLaunch team has a built-in day off after any CodeLaunch. And I'm just gonna sip my coffee and look into this SuperLuckeee Trading. How much does it cost? How much does it cost to be a member of a SuperLuckeee Trading
so we offer
community?
multiple courses. We want to give, whether you're a college student or someone that has a huge bankroll to be able to also still afford um, our community and get the proper education needed to build your future. So it's $150 where we have a lot of market expertise and people that share ideas and trades. And then we have our courses where you have access to those 150 classes between 3 or 4 community leaders. And that will be $199 a month.
Okay, so for $199 a month, I get the full bells and whistles. And I'm going to ask you a question and put you on the spot. Can we get a discount for the CodeLaunch community maybe till December 31st this year?
Oh,
Coupon code?
okay, why not? Yes, we'll give you 10%
Hey, there you
off
go.
everybody.
I'm going to use my own coupon, everybody, for sure. Okay, so that sounds great. In fact, very affordable and right in line with most trading guidance. Like it might be less than some of the ones I've seen. So applause,
I mean, we
that
want to
sounds
give
great.
everyone an opportunity. I really believe that if through education, you can have a huge impact on people and the world. I think I felt it the most during COVID when people had no jobs and they had lost their job, their way of living, and there was no choice. And during that time, I remember when we were teaching them day trading strategies or how to rebuild their portfolio, so many people were able to come out of it financially financially free after that. And the concepts that we teach is very consistent, like something that you can go to. We teach a strategy that you can look forward to every single week that will make you consistent money weekly or consistent money daily, consistent money quarterly, depending on what you're looking for. And I think that was probably the most rewarding aspect when people are saying, this was able to replace my job that I lost, or
That's amazing. Yeah.
yeah.
So Thinkorswim, SuperLuckeee Trading platform. I need to check out Thinkorswim. It's part of the Charles Schwab family still, but it's not the basic Charles Schwab 1999 looking interface.
No.
Yeah.
That's a good platform. We do also recommend AMP Futures. It's a futures platform that require smaller margin requirements than uh, other brokers. So with a smaller amount of capital, you're able to trade futures around the clock. That's the benefit of futures trading. Another broker I would recommend is International Interactive Brokers,
IBKR.
IBKR.
I own that one. I own a little piece of IBKR, but I don't use it. You would think I would check it out, but so far I haven't had time to get off of Robinhood. I mean, Robinhood's so splashy. It's kind of like a video game, The interface is just great.
Right.
That's probably its weakness. It's always annoying me with these high volatile stock moves, which triggers my emotions, and then irrational things happen. I need to take your classes, Esther.
I mean, as long as you're overall more profitable,
I am. I just know that I'm not getting all of it. Like I know I meet a person like you, and I see an immense amount of high level stock market knowledge that's way past my IQ level at this right now, and I want to get there. And part of it's because um, I'm getting close enough to the age where I could take control of my 401k money, and it's no longer just locked away in this box, and it would actually be mine to trade. That I know that when that time comes, I need to be at the very top of my financial markets IQ, and I'll be able to kill it, literally murder it. And I'm so excited to get there. Only a few years. Do the math. Okay, so let's talk about something else for a minute. Let's talk about CodeLaunch. You are a judge tomorrow at the World Championship. You're here tonight and tomorrow. What questions do you have about what you're about to get into that I can answer for you right here? Could be anything. Could be about the finalist dinner that we're going to do. We invite the judges to meet the finalists the night before the event. So you're going to get to meet the 6 finalists tonight and your other 2 judges.
I'm really excited to actually meet the finalists because I believe in what you guys are doing. I grew up watching shows like Shark Tank, but to see that you're helping entrepreneurs uh, and giving them this opportunity, and then to actually meet them and uh, I get to decide. It's a little bit I'm a little bit nervous. I want to make sure I make the help decide the right choice because I'm sure working with them, like, you wanna give it to everybody.
Yeah, well, so the judges are in charge of deploying $10,000 of our money tomorrow. And so I'll just kind of fill you in on how it works a little bit. The MC is going to take turns calling on 2 out of the 3 to ask each of the 6 startups one question. So while you're watching the pitch, I think you'll know if it's your turn. It'll be your turn 4 out of the 6 times. There'll be 2 that you're not called on, and it's just random how that works out. But if there was a financial markets startup, for example, we would definitely put you on the person to ask. So I don't remember if we planned anybody for you, but you'll find out on game day. So your job there is to ask a question which helps you decide and the audience decide, is this the right one for me to pick for the judge's choice? And you get to pick any of the 6, even if the audience doesn't move them into the second round. After the second round is over, we bring them all back up and we ask the judges to confer and unanimously choose your judge's choice. And you have to talk Raheel and Mark Clayton into your choice if they disagree with you. So that's always fun.
That's fun. That sounds fun.
Yeah. If there's a 3-way stalemate, we may have to figure out what to do. We may have to flip a coin or something. Well, let's SuperLuckeee Trading flip a coin and figure out who's super lucky and who's not.
Oh, that's so exciting.
So, and then the investors and the audience are using a gamification and audience engagement, like lightweight app that we have. They hit a QR code and then they get to deploy $50,000 and play money throughout the show using some rules. So you can't just dump all 50K into one. You have to kind of sprinkle it around in different weights. So the audience is like, oh, I'm going to give, wow, that one was really good. I'll give a lot to that one. And then they see them like, oh no, I'm going to give a little bit less than I thought, give more over here. In the end, the audience
I love that
chooses.
it's so interactive and that everyone gets to participate.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be so much fun. And then the investors who have a special ticket, they have their total gets added up separate from the audience. So the investors' total determines the next 15,000, and then the general audience is the world champion and the last 25,000. And those get deployed as investments. And all 6 have already given us their terms. And so their investment terms are published for everybody to see. And if they win the event, hey, we might have a good investment because those are pre-winning the world championship terms, right? Terms are probably going to change for the next round downstream over time. So, no other questions about CodeLaunch?
Okay, I think my biggest question is how do you fund all these companies without taking any part of it? I think that is the most interesting part because I work with a lot of venture capitalists and angel investors, and then we're all accustomed to a show called Shark Tank where these sharks are usually taking such a big piece of these companies, but your company, CodeLaunch, doesn't do that. So I think that is incredible.
Well, the idea is that CodeLaunch is trying to promote our parent company Improving and promote them through building and generously giving to a community that's genuinely impactful It's a marketing vehicle for the improving brand. So by at first, before I sold this to Improving, we were using it the same for my software development brand, Code Authority. So this was Code Authority's CodeLaunch event. And we joined Improving to turn CodeLaunch into a much bigger thing than it was. It was a once a year Dallas thing. It wasn't well known really too far outside of the central US. It certainly wasn't known anywhere in Silicon Valley where it really mattered, or anywhere in New York or Miami. It just wasn't. But it was well known in Dallas and in Houston and Austin. And we had a lot of fun. My team, the culture of my teammates improved, our sales improved, the visibility of our brand improved, the recruitment and retention of great software developers improved when they saw they could belong to something that was fun and exciting and giving back and helping people. And so it is a thought-leading way to market a technical service brand. And, we think that it helps Improving in the long term with all the same things, retention. One of the things that we really like about it is that Improving philosophically aligns with conscious capitalism. Have you ever heard of Conscious Capitalism, the Yellow Book by John Mackey, the founder of Whole Foods? So in the Improving office, there's the yellow Conscious Capitalism books are everywhere. And we give them away to clients, and we give them away to new employees. And some of the principles are painted on the walls and so forth in the office, and like our meeting room names and things like that. And CodeLaunch is like the most visible way to exemplify what conscious capitalism looks like that I think anybody has ever thought of, including John Mackey. And you can tell him I said that. You can tell him he needs to come on the show, and then I'll tell him that to his face. So, I think conscious capitalism is all about just pure profit is not the only thing. You can also create value for your stakeholders. And so our stakeholders at CodeLaunch and Improving are investors, startup founders, the academic and academia community, municipalities and city leaders that want to evolve technology ecosystems in their geographic area, software developers who want to broaden their skills and work on the edge of what's coming next in technology, and then just anybody else that likes fun. It was also a big fun party for my team, and it is the same for us now and everyone at Improving. So we're not trying to create a fund that's a return for investors. So we have a completely different motive. And that's why, and the other thing is that we are trying to help people at the very early stage. If we were requiring equity from startups at this stage, I think some people in the investment community would find that to be distasteful and too sharky. And so we're glad that we don't do that. And we try to help companies raise and position them so that the downstream investors see a company with the product, with some traction and some revenue, and maybe some status because of CodeLaunch. And when they look at their terms and invest, their cap table is clean. And they do get invested in. And since some of these groups are going to win tomorrow, we are also going to be invested in them. The startups that are on our balance sheet now have increased some of them. And maybe in time there'll be some big returns, and it'll be the crazy way to invest that worked. We'll find out.
I think that's amazing. I love the mission and that vision, the opportunity that you're creating around the world within, especially that one that you went to at Latam. I don't know. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, are you going to Startup Grind Conference again in April?
In Miami?
Oh, no, the conference is in April, right? In Redwood City again? The same one that
Oh,
the Startup
April.
Grind conference?
I believe so. So every year, I want to see new ideas, new people that have uh that might want that same opportunity. So I have been going for several years. Um, the last one I did, um, the last one I went to, sh the company that I chose to invest and partner up with, she actually ended up winning the Startup Grind of the Year.
Whoa.
Yeah, which was
Which
amazing.
one was it?
Zet AI.
ZAI.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And it was more about her future thinking. Um, and she's just so brilliant. She graduated from Harvard, and I think her right now, younger people, their ability to see for more forward of what's going to happen. Uh,
Yeah, they're less clouded and they're more fearless. And that sometimes can translate into actual vision versus like here's a similar concept. I play guitar a lot and I'm a musician, and you'll see I perform a song tomorrow. One of the things that I started like kind of getting down on myself about is that I never really have had lessons, and I don't really understand music theory. I don't know scales. I don't even know the names of the strings, which is really bad, you would think. But I can play it because people have taught me, put your fingers here and put your fingers here, and it makes different chords. And then I have enough talent that my ear can just hear how they go together or they don't. And some of them are darker and some of them are happy, and those are minor and majors, and I get it all. I don't need to have all the school, but I thought maybe I'm selling myself short here. I really should invest in this. And then I saw a video of Kurt Cobain getting interviewed, and they were asking him, where did you learn to play guitar? Who was your teacher? He goes, oh, I've never learned to play guitar. I've never had a lesson. I don't even know the names of the notes these are. I just know where to put my fingers, and I know just to go nuts and let my emotion out. And I don't want to ever have lessons because it's going to cloud my creativity. I want to be able to just do it and not care if someone else thinks it's right or wrong. Just if I like the way it sounds and my band likes the way it sounds and the crowd reacts, then it must be good enough. And I'm sticking to Kurt's plan. So it's kind of the same concept. It's the really young, smart population from our elite universities, Harvard and Stanford and places where a lot of these founders come from. They have incredible intellectual power, but they also are not clouded by a lifetime of muck up in their brain, right? Okay, so well, I want to tell you, if you go there, I've already agreed to sponsor it. This year, I'm not going to do the speech thing. This year, I'm going to sponsor the karaoke party that happens like the third night.
that sounds so fun. Am I invited?
Yeah, you're invited. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
And they're gonna let me sing my song that I sing tomorrow as like this featured sponsored performance, and they're gonna like Raj is gonna get up there because my MC Raj is also involved with Startup Grind. He's gonna get up there and introduce me, and then we'll see how it goes, Esther. It could be a disaster, but it was a better sponsorship for us given our schedule and our fit for the plan next year. It's after our U.S. deadline has already happened. So it didn't make sense for us to be on the hunt for U.S. applicants like we were last year. So we came up with this better way to integrate with Startup Grind. Also, they have committed to sponsor a table at CodeLaunch
Oh, how
next
fun.
year at the World Championship.
Where is
So,
your next CodeLaunch going to be?
boy, I sent an email about that this morning. It was slightly top secret. It might be in Dallas, and it might be in Miami in 2026. But I
I
don't know yet, and it'll be in one or the other,
Sounds
right?
exciting.
On the beach in an indoor-outdoor venue.
I love Miami,
Imagine the
so I
breeze
think
going
that would be
through and the
really
CodeLaunch
nice.
World Championship in November on the beach. The only thing I'm worried about is hurricanes in November. It's a little past the season.
I am not sure.
I think October is when you want to, September and October is when the high risk, plus it's too hot. Anyway, Soon to be announced news about that. Right now on the website, as I film this, it says that our U.S. event in April is in Miami, but there are serious talks about some other alternatives, moving that to later in the year. Okay, well, I'm so excited to join your SuperLuckeee Trading platform soon and find out more about all these advanced topics. Prepare myself to be my own trading guide as I get later through my career in life and have more time and more money to trade. And I want to thank you for coming on to the podcast today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're
We're
welcome.
so excited.
Okay. And tomorrow I will ask you what your thoughts were on CodeLaunch, and I hope that they were super awesome and that you just love your experience. Thanks to my CodeLaunch team, Cece, Ashlyn, and Eve, and everyone at Improving, and our special guests and CodeLaunch World Championship judge, Esther Cho. If you enjoyed the content of this podcast episode, please subscribe. Give us a good review or wherever you listen or watch. Founders, hit that website, CodeLaunch.com, to find out when our next competition or event is, and follow us for updates on our social media. We're taking applications right now for the entire 2026 tour through the US, Canada, and LATAM region. Remember, CodeLaunch community, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the startups.